Hello and welcome to Cryptocat-Guru. In this video, we want to talk about 3 innovative ideas in the metaverse. If you are new to our channel, please consider to subscribe and like our video down below. Also, feel free to comment down below to respond to your thoughts with new valuable videos. The metaverse is the convergence of physical, augmented, and virtual reality in a shared online space. It can become integrated with our everyday lives in approximately 10 to 15 years, once technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality mature and become commonly used by the mainstream public. The metaverse will end up being a multi-trillion-dollar industry that impacts every part of the global economy. Here are 5 reasons why. First, more transactions will take place in the metaverse than in the real world. That's partly because creators will make more items in the metaverse than they do in the real world, and those items can be sold instantly. Those items will include digital houses, clothing, furniture, cars, and so on. Those items could be used for a variety of purposes, such as simulating real environments for business purposes, creating animated films, and designing worlds for educational purposes. Over time, these virtual items and the virtual worlds therein will look increasingly more realistic. Marketplaces within the metaverse could transact hundreds of billions of dollars per year once the metaverse becomes mainstream and is fully integrated with our everyday lives. NFT will also play a major part in the overall metaverse economy. In a decentralized metaverse, users can claim ownership over their digital assets. In this scenario, each person would have the option to own an asset, such as an NFT, and earn up to 80% of the revenues when that asset is resold throughout a blockchain. For example, clothing designers can create clothing with materials that can't exist in the real world and sell them as NFT using cryptocurrencies. These same clothing items could be reused in CGI films, video games, and other forms of entertainment. Dolce & Gabbana and other clothing brands are already selling fashion NFT. Adidas formed a partnership with The Sandbox, a crypto-based game, to start selling digital clothing items. Nike recently launched Nikeland on the Roblox platform so that gamers can style their avatars with Nike gear. Once the metaverse matures, those digital assets could be accessible across multiple devices, such as virtual reality headsets, augmented reality glasses, smartphones, smartwatches, and so on. And those assets could be accessible in multiple apps that were typically considered unrelated to each other in earlier decades. According to ARK Invest, the revenue from virtual worlds could approach $400 billion by 2025. And as virtual asset building tools become easier to use for the average person, that number could multiply tenfold over the coming decades. The metaverse is going to be an entire industry that will not be controlled by one company. We may see large, mainstream game studios adopting a similar business model as the adoption of VR headset rise. According to ARK Invest, VR headsets could reach smartphone adoption rates by as early as 2030. In the future, we may also begin seeing the ability to use digital assets, avatars, and even the real faces of players in multiple video games, regardless of the video game publisher. This development would further increase the numbers of transactions in metaverse marketplaces. Second, the metaverse will save companies and individuals billions of dollars a year. The metaverse will help companies and individuals get more done in less time in a variety of ways. This could lead to economic benefits totaling billions of dollars or even hundreds of billions of dollars per year. A high number of virtual worlds will be made by companies to simulate physical processes from the real world. This is an effective way to anticipate the feasibility of a project before any physical work occurs. NVIDIA offers a digital twins feature under its Omniverse offering to address this use case. Ericsson, a telecommunications company, is using NVIDIA's Omniverse to build a digital twin of an entire city to continuously optimize the performance of their fleet of 5G antennas and radios. More specifically, they're determining how to place and configure each of their transmission sites for the best coverage and network performance. BMW is building a factory in a digital environment to simulate real-life production scenarios. This will ultimately speed output, increase agility, and optimize efficiency. BMW is also using NVIDIA's Omniverse to teach its robots new skills. Siemens Energy is using NVIDIA's Omniverse to build a digital twin of one of its steam generator facilities to predict corrosion and ultimately reduce downtime. This approach alone could save $1.7 billion a year in the energy industry. And many car manufacturers like Tesla train the AI for self-driving vehicles in virtual environments so that the AI can handle a high range of unusual situations in the real world. Over time, these virtual environments will become increasingly more complex and include a wide range of driving and pedestrian scenarios. Virtual offices is another approach that could save white-collar workers countless hours per year and enhance their output. In the real world, we can only have anywhere from 1 to 4 computer monitors in front of us at a time. We can have multiple windows open in each of those monitors and multiple tabs open in each internet browser. However, we can only view a small number of those screens at a time. In a virtual 3D office, we could have 30 or more screens visible in front of us at a time. In one giant view, we could see information such as news articles, open documents, stock prices, company analytics, social network posts, and so on. And in a virtual office, we could perform certain work activities in ways that wasn't possible before. For example, if we need to analyze data, we could view that data as three-dimensional structures instead of just charts and tables on a 2D screen. The metaverse could allow software from various companies to connect with other in ways that wasn't possible before. For example, NVIDIA's Omniverse will allow design products made using Adobe software to connect to Autodesk software in one collaborative environment. Existing tools used for productivity will likely be tailored to the metaverse as well. Microsoft is already adapting Microsoft Teams to the metaverse. In the near future, Microsoft could also adapt offerings like Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Windows, and LinkedIn to the metaverse. As a result, Microsoft could gain a dominant position when it comes to workplace and productivity use cases in the metaverse. And when neural interfaces in the form of headbands and wristbands become usable, they would greatly streamline important activities in the metaverse as well. Third, social media networks could evolve into separate metaverses. The next step of evolution for social media networks is likely metaverse environments that require virtual reality headsets. There could be thousands or perhaps millions of worlds that connect people based on shared interests and goals. VR Chat is an example of an existing platform for virtual communities that requires virtual reality headsets. It currently has over 25,000 community-created worlds. We may see existing social networks like Twitter and LinkedIn gradually offer their own versions of metaverse communities. Even YouTube could begin implementing metaverse-like features in the coming years to avoid being disrupted by competitors. Like with all traditional social media networks, ad revenues will become a main source of income for metaverse worlds intended for socialization. According to Statista, social media ad revenues are projected to total $51 billion in 2021, and those numbers are growing rapidly year after year. There's a strong possibility that Meta could become a dominant force in this area. Although Facebook is the most criticized social media network right now, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp have the most active users by far out of all traditional social media platforms. Facebook alone had 2.9 billion active users in October 2021. And according to Search Engine Journal, 1.8 billion people use Facebook groups every month. Meta also has hardware dominance in the virtual reality space because of their VR devices. And Meta may prove to be a strong competitor in the augmented reality and wrist-based neural interface space as well. With that said, we are already at the end of the video. If you found our content helpful, please consider to subscribe and like our video to create more valuable videos in the future. Your Cryptocat-Guru.